And the FBI versus Apple battle continues. The FBI has now reportedly enlisted the services of an Israeli-based company in its efforts to break the protection codes on the locked iPhone belonging to a suspect in last year's San Bernardino shooting. We now turn to Emmy Award-winning legal analyst Lionel of LionelMedia.com for his take on this latest development. So, Lionel, from a legal and privacy standpoint, what's different about this approach?
Well, this is going to be implementing and using the All Wires Act of 1789. And what it does is the All Writs Act, rather. And what it does is it historically has been a provision since 1789 that allows the government to seek technical assistance when it's needed to carry out a search warrant. Typically, it was the phone company. Think of it as getting a locksmith to help you open a particular door. But what we're doing right now is we're using, or the government rather, is using this All Writs Act to go to Apple, and not deputizing Apple, but basically commandeering and conscripting Apple to unlock its own protection device in certain models that it says it does not have the means to do. And Apple also, as you know, says if it does this, it would compromise, in essence, the worth of their product. Now the government's saying, you know what, Apple, forget about it. We're going to go elsewhere to another company, and we're going to go to them and ask them to not, remember, go into a room, to a particular box, but to provide a skeleton key to all rooms, all boxes, everything. This is unprecedented, because what we're doing right now is we're seeing the law lag behind technology. And also keep in mind, Anya, that after Brussels and after this fervent and understandable fear of terrorism and wanting to assist the government and governments all over the world to stop this, people are being asked the question, so do you think a human life isn't worth as much as your phone, your data, your pictures? And if it's phrased like that, you can see where this discussion's going.
Well, you said it's unprecedented, so what are the implications of enlisting a non-governmental third party to do something like this?
Well, think about it this way. Normally, it would be considered corporate espionage. Let's assume that Microsoft were enlisted to go after to break Apple's system. Normally, this would be, subject of criminal prosecution. Are people granted immunity? The government is basically saying, we want you to not just, again, people think that this is going into one particular room and getting one particular phone with data on this phone. That's not it. It's a skeleton key to everything. Now, other people are suggesting, and not me, mind you, but that the government's known all along how to break into the phones, or how to break into the system, or knows about this system. But what this is doing is taking people right now, the citizens of the world, and pitting them against technology corporations. And they're saying, wait a minute, whose side are you on? The technology company is saying, not only is this secrecy our livelihood, but it's your freedom as well. Now, whenever you take something that's real and tenable and actual and horrible, like terrorism, you're going to find people who are hard-pressed to weigh the values of these fleeting ideas like privacy. Anything to bust and to disrupt terrorist cells is really what people are after. So for the first time, you're taking laws that have been around, again, since 1789, when governments would use the phone company to help for a wiretap, would enlist very small, particular technological assistance. And they're not deputizing, but commandeering and conscripting corporations, sometimes unwillingly, sometimes most willingly, to basically crack open and to bust anything that was really secrecy, privacy, a firewall. And so you always have to balance our concern with breaking terrorist cells and going after the heart of this insidious cancer which infects the world, but also keep in mind that the Fourth Amendment and the Constitution has always been intended to sometimes tell the government no. There's no condition to the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment doesn't apply in certain cases. It applies all the time, in all cases, in all circumstances. Not yes in drug cases, but no in terrorism. It doesn't work that way. It's all or nothing. And once you erode, once you start to try to dilute where and when the Constitution applies, you're tearing up the document. You're saying it's a situational protection. And there's no such thing in the history of this country as situational constitutional protections.
That's certainly what has a lot of people concerned, and I'm sure this isn't the last of this story. We'll see. It'll probably be a long, drawn-out battle. Legal and media analyst Lionel of LionelMedia, thank you so much.
Thank you.